Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Nina versus Carly. Been waiting for this for, well, 2 days, obviously. Um, and I gotta sit there and say that I enjoyed this thoroughly. Um, no matter if you are a Carly fan, if you are a Nina fan, I'm a Carly fan, but I'm gonna be honest, Nina was giving some hard truths to Carly. Um, especially when she was there talking about there's only a certain amount of times before you decide to, when you start being mean to Sonny and turning him away, this, that, and the third. There's only a certain amount of times she's going to allow that to happen before he winds up just giving up and turning to a woman who will actually not be, well, how you're acting. And the look on Carly's face was priceless. Um, and granted, everyone knows how I feel about Nina. I'm gonna be honest, she was saying a lot of things that was true. Um, let's think about this. You walk in her office, okay, in her place of business, to sit there and have this argument, this conversation about practically staying away from her husband. You think you were just gonna walk away from that unscathed? Like, are you kidding me? Especially when she was there asking, like, "Oh, what? Did you sleep with him? Did you have sex with him?" And yes, I don't really understand why she was asking for all those details with Sunny, like, oh, what did you kiss her? Did you do this? Did you do that? Why? Is it going to make the situation better? Is it going to make your mood better? Why? I get from her point of view, she wants to know all the truth, but I'm like, it's not going to make anything better, you know? And when she asked Nina that, Nina was like, no, but only because I stopped it. And I'm like, sweetheart, you should have thought really carefully before you decide to walk in her office picking this fight. Talking about all these secret meetings that they're having left and right. You do realize that y'all are in a very small town, right? That there's not really a lot of places that they're not going to run into each other. And yeah, I get it. Every time they were together, they was there chit chatting, this, that, and the third. But I get where Carly's coming from, but also you can kind of look at. I don't want to sit there and say the bigger picture, but I'm like, you do realize y'all all live in this very small town. Um, it's not like there's a lot of sets, so there's not going to be a lot of. You're going to eventually into each other. So what do you want? And this whole stay away from my husband, this, that, and the third. He came back to me. He came back to me. And what did he? And what have you been doing since he came back to you? I don't know, kicking him out of his place. And yeah, you know what? Listen, I'm gonna just end this whole debate right now. And the truth of the matter is, somebody was there saying that there's a good chance that she owns a bit of property, or she's co-owner of the house or whatever it is. Listen, I don't give a damn if he fully paid for this house, if that house was his, if they both paid for it and it's theirs, or when they're married, she gets half what he has. But at the end of the day, it is still half his house. Okay, so for the fact of the matter is, she kicked him out of a place that, well, he owns also. Is just absolutely ridiculous, and it's something that, pretty obvious, pisses me off. Okay, um, it just does, and I've said it before, so I'm not going to really get into it again. But my point is that you kicked him out of the house. You've been yelling at him, this, that, and the third. But now you want to sit there and walk into her office talking about, he's my husband, he's my. Nah, because at the end of the day, I get that, people and the feelings are very complex, this, that, and the third. But, you know, part of the reason why Carly actually pissed me off today, well, there was a lot of reasons, but part of the reason that kind of pissed me off is that going at Sonny one way, but then coming in Nina's office talking like he's my husband, he's my husband. Nah, no, sweetheart, you don't get to sit there and start yelling at this woman about he's my husband, blah 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 blah. But then come back to Sonny and be like, "Well, you lied to me. You did this. You did that. I want you at the house. Da 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 da. What are you doing back here? The hell is wrong with you?" I on top of that, she actually had the audacity to sit there and put hands on her. I get it's a soap opera thing, but I'm not one for putting hands on someone. You know, like you're an adult. Use your words. It's not hard. You came into her room, you came into her place of business to sit there and try to, I don't know what the hell your goal was, but you didn't like the answer that she said, so you put hands on her. Now, part of me was sitting there saying, Nina, I think you should whoop her ass. But I mean, if we're being honest, that's just not feasible. Regardless if you're a Nina fan or not, she's not beating her in a fight. It's just not gonna happen. Um, Carly may have a lot of money, businesses, and everything like that, but she ain't grow up that way. So that's not an option. But I guess in some sort of way, she got satisfaction because by Carly hitting Nina, Nina was just like, you know, like I got you. And Carly walked out mad and frustrated, and I'm just like, sweetheart, there's so many other things that you could have did with your day, and you chose to do this. Now, I'm going to say something that even I'm going to regret in a couple of days. But, between those two, their argument back and forth, and I cannot believe I'm actually saying this. And we all know how much I do not like Nina. And I still don't like Nina, but between those two, them arguing back and forth, I have to sit there and say this, and I cannot believe I'm actually sitting there saying this, but I was actually on Nina's side in that argument, in that moment. I was on Nina's side with that. I was, um, yeah. In some way, hell actually froze over, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Sunny, 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 sunny. So Laura comes in there, just tells Sunny the bad news. I just telling the bad news about Luke and he's dead and blah blah blah. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. But after that, then Sunny is talking about his marriage and everything like that with Laura. Sunny does what Sunny's been doing for the past, well, since he's gotten back. Make excuses. I feel like when I'm talking about Sunny, I should just have a shirt and it just says excuses. And every time I talk about Sunny, I just sit there and say Sunny, and I do this. And everyone knows what I'm saying. Everyone knows what I'm talking about at this point. I don't even have to sit there and even get into it. It's be like Sunny. Like if he keeps it up, I may have to sit there and try to look for that shirt on Amazon. So that's what he does. He makes excuses. I didn't do it because of Jason. I didn't do it because of Sasha and Brando. And then by that time, I didn't want to add any more pain. I was protecting her. Blah, 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 blah. Sonny, you're my guy, but Jesus Christ, bro, you ain't making it easy these days. You really aren't making it easy. And, Laura gives him a bit of truth, especially talking about the whole Stan and, saying that you're not a victim and protecting Nina. And then Sonny talks about his feelings and how he's confused, which is, you know what? I understand that part. Throughout your BS talk, every once in a while, for the past couple of days, sometimes you make sense. And that gurgled up BS. He has feelings for Nina, so he protects her. This whole I'm trying to move on, no, that's just stop. But he's protecting her because he has feelings. He doesn't know what to do with them. He's having dreams. This is all pretty normal. I mean, in the situation that he's in. In some sort of ways, and I'm not going to do, because what Sam did with Drew and Jason still pisses me off. But what she did was she said, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to figure things out. Now, in her case, pretty much she just made a mess and said, let somebody else clean it up. I'm taking the kids and I'm just going to go on a vacation. I don't want to deal with this stuff. I think that Sonny, maybe he should just take a step back. Leave the house on his own accord. Kind of just think about what he was going to do. Because this whole, we got to sit there and reconcile. We got to sit there and fix the past. We got to sit there and move forward. Bro, none of that's going to happen until you deal with the stuff that's inside of you. It's not fair to Carly. And it's not fair to Nina. For him to be doing what he's doing. I'm going to leave it at that. Now the rest of this episode, why did he do that? I hate to saying this, but their stuff was literally the best part of this episode, and everything else just kind of trickles down a little bit. I mean, let's talk about Finn and Liz. So Liz talks about a ring, it being there by magic. No, it's not by magic, it's by one of the boys maybe. Maybe one of the boys don't want me to move on. So they have this conversation that lasts way too damn long. And then in the end, they decide not to go on a date. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're going to postpone it? Yeah, postpone it. And, Liz is like, well, I look forward to going out on the next date and blah, 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 blah. I don't really do the whole shipping thing or find people look cute together, whatever. But I'm going to be honest, if anyone are fans of Liz and Finn being together, how's that ride going so far? Is it great? Is it fun? You having a great time? Okay. Oddly enough, me and DC Soap Sanctuary are going to be doing another collab on Days. Top couples. I kind of like it because I get to sit there and talk about the psychology and what people, why these people work and why these people don't. But this whole, up and down roller coaster, Liz and Finn, listen, if you care, that's great. Good luck, because, it's not really going anywhere. Now, Portia and Trina have a talk after, little awkward scene with Curtis and Portia making out. The main thing about this conversation is that Trina is just like, I'm going to go to this retreat with these people that are together and not try to feel like a fifth wheel, even though a lot of times I feel like a fifth wheel. And Portia's like, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think you should be sitting there doing this just to fix Spencer, make sure he has a good time, or prove anything to Esmere. Like, who is she? Just some entitled girl. Like, why do you care? You're a better person than that. But of course, she doesn't listen, and she decides to do it anyway, because why not? She also talks about Ava, seeing a different side to her. Seeing a different side to her, the side that Jocelyn has been warning her about. The vindictive side, the side that, cause was a catalyst for Morgan to go off his meds and end up the way he did. So she was a little shocked and surprised. And, Portia was like, listen, there's a gray area. No one's totally good, no one's totally bad. Everyone has a gray area. Trina looked like she was surprised. I was like, seriously? Why does sometimes it's moments like that was like see Trina can seem like she is years ahead wisdom wise when it comes towards Jocelyn. But then when things like that happen, when she's like, oh, I didn't know she could be so, like she seemed like she was having a great time, really throwing it in Spencer's face that, he has to sit there and be an indentured servant. Like, I never saw that side of her. I didn't think that was possible. It's so weird. Like, really? Really? Because, I mean, do you not have the internet? Do you not know the stuff that she's done? I mean, I just don't understand how, like, she just came across as so naive. Like, I didn't think it was possible. Okay, Trina. Thank you, writers, for making her, look like an idiot for a good 5 minutes. I really didn't appreciate that, but whatever. It's your world, so okay. Um, Marshall runs into TJ, and TJ's just like, I'm not really comfortable spending time with you unless, Curtis is cool with it. And of course, Marshall's like, oh, he wants me to tell the truth. And TJ's just like, all right, so do it. What's the problem? Like, literally, what's the problem? So what does Marshall do? Take a wild guess. You sitting down for this one? He lies. I know, shocker, right? Oh, the pain, the past is too painful. He's gonna think so differently. He's gonna think the worst of me, or something like that. I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of lost interest at that point. And TJ was like, "Listen, he's gonna want to find out whatever he thinks." You know what I'm saying? Like, just tell him the damn truth at this point, because nothing's gonna go. You're not gonna be able to move forward with him or us or anyone else until you do. And then Curtis walks in, and Curtis is like, "Oh, you're a stalker now." So, TJ leaves because, he has patience and, he decides to reschedule with Curtis as far as, catching up some, dinner or whatever. Which I'm just like, he said that his break is almost over, but he can try to find something in the cafeteria. How long breaks, how long of breaks did he actually have? Um, and then Curtis and Marshall talk for a little bit, and I'm going to be honest, I gotta look at my notes because I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot because just kind of didn't really care at that point. It just, honestly, to tell you the truth, it just seems like they just have the same conversation over and over and over and over and over again. Curtis wants the truth. Marshall doesn't tell him the truth, and Curtis gets upset. Or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's how that conversation went. Oh, look, I was sort of right. Truth. That's what I wrote. And, oh, he alluded that he might tell the truth in the next episode. You know what? I would like to be surprised. I really would. I would like to be surprised. I would like tomorrow to come and Marshall's like, all right, listen, I gotta sit there and tell you the truth. The truth is, something happened. I'm working for the government. I'm in WITSEC or something like that. And I would sit down, like, wow, they actually told the truth. So what I have a feeling like that's not gonna happen. Marshall's gonna sit there and make up something, or he's going to lie and it's going to get Curtis more frustrated. And I just I don't want to sit there and say like I don't care because I do. I just would like to get to a point where we're just like, are we there yet? Did Marshall actually tell him the truth? Did Curtis actually find out? No, we are waiting up 2 months. All right, cool. That's great. That's great. That's what I want to hear. So Spencer comes home. He's upset about Ava. Blah 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 blah. And then, Esmere coming back from getting whatever sort of pill she had, gets upset with Esmere. I mean, gets upset with Spencer for not telling her about Trina, because that's still a thing. So they're about to eat, and then, Esmere's like, we can eat, or we could. So they're about to sit there and, have sex. The moment I actually become monetized, I'm probably not going to be able to say that, so that should be fun. Anyway, they're about to sit there and get it on. Victor comes in, and Victor pretty much tells Spencer to man up, live up to the Cassidy name, and also is like, women come and go. After, he was like, oh yeah, Esme, your family. Oh yeah, so yeah, listen, family is forever. Women come and go, but family is forever. And of course, Esme just had that look like she was pissed off. And it was, it was one point they were talking, and Esmere was defending Spencer because, Spencer's like, I'm not ready to give Valentine another chance. Like, I don't like him. He did this, that, and the third to me. And Nicholas is X, Y, and Z, and I don't want to sit there and play ball with them. And then Esmere comes in, and Esmere's like, well, you can't expect him to sit there and be nice after this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. So Victor takes off his scarf and is like, can you just, like, put that away? Like, go away. We're talking right now. Pretty much kind of vibe. And I'm not going to lie, I laughed my ass off. And I rewound that twice because it was pretty funny. Um, anyway, he tells him to man up, live up to the cast iron air, blah, 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 blah. So Laura comes home, and Victor just he just sits up like, oh, I'm glad you got home. Like, he just owned the whole place. I'm like, wow, that's pretty brazen. I mean, I get it. His nephew lives there, but like the way he got up and just walked around, like walked up to her like it was his place. Like, wow, okay. Oh, also Laura and Sonny talked about Cyrus and his newfound religion, which is either true or false. I guess we'll find out. Hmm. I feel like that's about it for the most part. I gotta sit there and say this episode was mostly enjoyable. Um, I mean, like I said, with everything else kind of trickling down, nothing to say wasn't like as important or as entertaining to some extent, but I mean, we all know what the real story was. I mean, the best story was, well, at least in my opinion. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.